Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and welcome back to another reaction breakdown music commentary. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, make sure you subscribe and like this video if you do. If you've already, thank you so much for the support. Let's see what we got. This is the Weeknd's full Pepsi performance. I hope that they allow me to post this. I mean, I saw some other people post about it, so we'll see what ends up happening. But that being said, it was a very interesting performance in the sense of that there was a lot of stuff going on. I heard somewhere that he spent $7 million on it, so that's a lot of money, which is crazy. I mean, he as in I don't know what he stands for. I don't know if he means the Weeknd actually spent the money or if his label spent the money or whatever the case is. I mean, if we're talking label money here, that's not a lot of money at all. So I don't know, but if it's his money, then I mean that's a decent chunk of change. That being said, let's get right into this reaction. Let me know in the comments below who you were rooting for. I apologize to all the KC fans out there, but to the Tampa Bay, you know, I was rooting for Tampa Bay. I have a lot of family that lives in Tampa, so congrats to Tampa. Let's see what we got. This is the Weeknd's full performance. Oh, here we go. There we go.
National Football League welcomes you to the Pepsi Super Bowl 55 halftime show.
It's very surreal. Like, I don't like the fact how they film this stuff is pretty wild. I mean, that right there alone has to be like several, at least $100,000. All that stuff, the car, the moving of the actual moving of the car, that whole set design. I mean, look how big it is. It's like 3 times the size of him. Like, it's pretty wild. Bass coming hard. So there's a lot of what I would call like a visual perception. So then again, like this also could have, I couldn't tell what was on the screen, what was actually a set. So like, I don't know if this stuff was actually created or if this was just like on the screen. But that being said, they did a lot of what's called, I don't remember what the exact word is, but they do it in movies. They did it in the movie Elf, like the comparison this to Elf. But what it is like they actually make people look bigger or smaller depending on how they shoot the film, and depending on the camera angles, and depending. I actually watched this whole video on Elf and how they shot it, because a lot of the actors were actually like full-size people, but to make him look like an elf, they actually shot it so that like Buddy was way I think he was way closer and everybody else was way like 20 feet back, but the way that the cameras were angled, it looked like they were right next to each other, but they actually weren't. So like this thing right here, this guy hanging down, it looks like a huge thing, but it's because of the way that the camera is being shot. So it's actually, it was because you see it lower down later, and it's actually just a regular sized person, but it's pretty wild. Imagine being that guy just descending down. Hi-hats are coming in nice. So something that I think about very often in these live performances is the fact of like how so many people don't realize how the artist has to maneuver. Like, he was all the way at the top of that 10 seconds ago. He had to sprint down to the bottom of the stage to make sure he's there perfectly in time for that to happen. So right here is where I was watching this with my wife live last night. So right here was when I like turned to her, I'm like, I can't stick in here, man. And I was on a live stream this morning and somebody commented like, did you see it? And I was like, yeah. And the person was like, yo, whoever mixed this jacked it up pretty bad. And the truth is, like, the Weeknd's performance is pretty good, man. Like, I actually thought his performance was good. The actual, all the stuff and the what are they called? Animatics, whatever the case is, were really cool. But the mixing was terrible, man. Like, you couldn't hear him the whole time, and it sounded so thin. It's like it sucks that, you know, that yeah, all the stuff looked cool, but his voice was not coming through. Like why can't you hear him, man? Like, he needs to be like 10 dB higher, man. All you hear is the drums and this very thin sounding vocal. It's sad because, like, I want every musician to sound good, but it's just sad that, like, sometimes that's not his fault. It's the stinking mixer's fault. The guy, the engineer, the studio engineer, or the mixing engineer. Like, what the crazy part though is, like, the actual mixing of the music sounds great. The fact that you can hear the guitar sounds really good. Like, the fact that the drums sound phenomenal throughout this whole performance, really, really good sounding drum. Like, a live drum sound almost sounds like somebody's actually playing a kit. But it's like, so I don't know how they managed to get all, because those are the things that are hard to get done live, like getting a good drum sound, getting a good guitar sound. Like, I don't know how they messed up his vocals personally, unless that's what he was going for. But it's just, I don't know, man. I was kind of bummed for him. You can't even hear him, man. His dance moves are actually pretty good, man. Like, here's another way you could even tell it was live. Like, look, when he puts the mic on the stand, you can hear it actually, like, plopping the stand. Right there, you hear that? This song is a jam. I actually really like this song. Like, the bass and the guitar sound really good here. But, like, why can't we hear him? Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that branding for Pepsi really quick. Rewind this 5 seconds. Look at that. The red and the blue perfectly. Like, look at the Pepsi logo. That's exact Pepsi logo right there, man. That's pretty wild. I like the rock version of this, man. The guitars sound sick. What are they saying there? Because I know what the real words are, but what are they saying in the background? Because they didn't bleep anything out, so I was trying to figure out what they were actually saying. I know in the real version he's cursing, but I could obviously they weren't saying that on TV. What stinks though is, like, man, like, you can't really hear his voice, and he has an underrated voice, which actually I don't know if I even want to use that word, because I don't like when people use that word. I think it's overused and improperly used. But he actually has a really good voice. But the problem with the music that he makes, which if he wants to make his music, that's totally fine. Like, good for him, man. Like, that, everybody's entitled to it. But it's the genre of music doesn't let him use his voice in the way that he actually can. And I mentioned in a couple of other people's, like, I saw a video of Sabrina Carpenter doing one of her songs like an acapella version or a jazz version, and her voice can really shine because, like, the pop music that she's making or the pop music that he's making doesn't allow for a lot of riffs or these kind of, like, really cool melodies and stuff. It's pretty simple. Da 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 da. You know, like da da da. How many times does he hit that da 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 da? No, you know what I mean? It's because it's trying to make it memorable so that people can play it 10,000 times on the radio, which is totally fine. It's just, I feel like it's the same with T-Pain, man. You know, T-Pain actually has a really, really good voice. It's just most people don't know that because of the way that they affect their voice, which is fine. I'm just commenting on it. But this would have been a really good opportunity for him to show off his voice, but you can't hear it. So at this point, so this is where all the memes come out. But at this point, I turned my wife after 30 seconds, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. All these mirrors and like distorted faces. I'm like, I'm actually gonna vomit from like what's going on here. It's so much. It was so like, it is a lot.
And she'll always get the best of me. The worst is yet to come. But I lead to both beautiful and stay forever young. This I know.
Here's a great example of how you can tell it's live. So I talk about this often. Like, so sometimes I think that things aren't live because of this. This is a great example of why you can tell it is. Look as he moves the mic around, it gets louder and quieter, and thinner and fuller. Listen. When he said forever, you hear that? How it gets thinner? That's actually, that's called the proximity effect, and that's something that should happen if it's live. And if it wasn't happening because I notice I'll watch these singers and they're singing like going like this, and they go like, there's no difference. And it's like, that there's no way that's possible. Like, it has to be pre-recorded if that's the case.
But I lead to both beautiful and stay forever young. This I know. Yeah, girl, I know. She told me to worry about it. She told me to worry.
The choirs are sick, man.
We will know without it. She told me you'll never.
I want to know what he's filming on. So I told my wife at this point, it's actually pretty clever how they filmed this and how they incorporated his theme of like the whole masks and I can't feel my face. I think in the music video he had one of those things on, but I was like, that's a perfect way to have people have the crew and the cast wear masks. Like, that totally works. I was like, that's pretty cool actually. It's pretty clever. Whoever thought about that. Bass came out real clean, man. Like, this is one of the songs where, like, how do you not tap your foot and bob your head, man? It's still catchy, though. Nice talk box coming through. Vocoder now. My favorite instrument, man, a vocoder. So what a vocoder is when you take your vocals and run it through a synthesizer, and it gives a very, very distinct robotic kind of sound. A lot of songs use like Taylor Swift's Delicate or the middle. Zed uses it a lot, so Zed Mara Morris. That's a sick shot right there. So at this point, like, the vocals still sound better. They sound better here. I just wish that they were louder. I want to hear his song. I want to hear him. Dude, look at that shot, man. That is so wild. Would you guys debate that this is what do you think the biggest musical performance is every year? Do you think it's the Super Bowl halftime, or what do you think it is? I'm curious if you're I guess what I'm kind of curious about is I wonder, like, part of me debates if the instruments were pre-recorded. Like, I know there's a guy right there playing the acoustic guitar. I would debate that. I wonder if that was all the instruments are pre-recorded. They're playing along the tracks, but it's like it makes you because everything sounds so good except for his voice. So that makes me wonder, like, why is his voice like? Why did they do that? Like, I just feel bad for the guy, man. Like, his voice is good. It's just, why can't we hear it, Such an 80s feel with this, man. That's a great example of a vocoder. I like the halftime versus full-time feel. Then again, like, these could very well be live. It's hard to, this stuff is hard to tell whether or not it's live or not. These shows make you realize how many hits this guy has. He has a lot of hits that were, he's been first of all around for a long time, but he's had a lot of hits. Wow, you hear the choir, that sounds good. See, this is actually mixed pretty well. Really nice staccato playing. This is a great rendition, how they kind of pull things out, giving a very, this song lends itself to being played live really well, and I like how he's changing it up and not doing straight like his normal version. I like the 6/8, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really makes it really dramatic. I haven't heard this song in a long time. It's a good song though. Nice there, harmonies. Oh, you hear that guitar right there in the center mix? Nice. Staccato guitar on the left here. I like that tension, man. I want to say though, his performance has been fantastic. He's been owning the stage for sure. Like he just knows how to work it. No pun intended. But I also want to say that I found it very interesting and kind of cool to some degree, but also just very interesting that there wasn't any like guest that came out. Like always is a guest. I thought that it's surprising that there wasn't. That was sick though. When he did that, I was like, wow, that was tight, man. Dipping into that pitch. I love how the background dancers are getting lit. They're going for it, man. Serious note right there, man. Okay, so like, look at where he was now and how he has to get all the way down to the bottom of the stage in like 10 seconds. like how did they get all these background dancers all the way to the bottom? It's pretty amazing how mechanical they make it. These look like they're filmed. By the way, I want to comment on this. They make it looks like they're anamorphic lenses, which give that very distinct straight line kind of look to the lights. It's called an anamorphic lens. This is a lot of cinema. Like the timing is perfect, man. It's amazing. Listen to how the drum pattern switches. So it's cool because he goes into like his whole like typical like his music video walk right there, the stumbling around. I think that I like how rock driven this whole thing was. Real. There you go. Perfect transition to blinding lights with the drums. Guitar is nice in that. I wonder if he knew that this song was gonna be like the top song for the year or blow up on TikTok, or if he was just like writing another song. You know? Choir is sick, man. Nice, changing up the melody here. Oh, nice. You hear the toms pan left to right. Pyromatics. Crazy. Pyrotechnics. Dude, I love his dance moves. They're actually really good. Serious sub bass going on here. I like how you can hear the fire filters here. So this was a tight performance, man. Everything was choreographed perfectly, I gotta say. It was a tight performance.
The National Football League.
So, like, I wonder now, like, what his perspective is on that. Like, I wonder if he was happy with it, if he wasn't happy. The world will never know. Like, unless he speaks on it, I find it super interesting. I would love to know what he thinks of this performance. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the performance. If you want to check out my music, it's Jacob Restituto. Wherever you guys listen, thank you so much for hanging out and watching this with me. Have a great Restituto day. God bless and peace out.